Okay, I think it's high time we talk about the runaway hit of the year that is a contender for the best new anime of 2019, Dr. Stone. Sorry, Yadoye. What, you thought I was gonna say Demon Slayer? Because I would, I love both shows. You don't have to choose. It's not a competition. It's the end of the decade. You can watch all the anime you want. If you aren't sure you should pick up Dr. Stone and are okay with some mild spoilers, maybe I'll have you convinced to check it out by the end of this video. And if you're already a fan, allow me to wow you with some of the real-world history behind Senku's inventions. Before I get to business, I want to warn you that there will be a few Light Season 1 spoilers in this video. I'm going to give you a rundown of the first episode to sort of set the scene, and from there, I'm going to be talking about Dr. Stone's greatest inventions.
This is exhilarating. Get excited.
Oh, but if you don't need the breakdown, then just skip to this part right here. So what's the deal with Dr. Stone? Let me paint you a picture. You're going about your business, it's just another normal day. Maybe you're at work, or you're at home, or if you're Taiju Oki, you're at school, getting ready to confess your feelings to your lifelong crush, Yuzuriha. Suddenly, a bright green light appears in the sky and overtakes the whole planet, petrifying you and the entire human population into frozen statues. When you somehow finally manage to wake up, you realize that there aren't any buildings around and it's literally a jungle out there. You don't have any food, shelter, running water, and there's wild animals out to get you, and you're also naked. But don't worry, this isn't a Kurt video. This is one of fall 2019's best anime, at least as far as I'm concerned. Oh, also, 3,700 years have gone by. The world has effectively returned to the Stone Age. Hence the name of the show. Senku Ishigami is our science-loving protagonist with his shonen protagonist hair, who wakes up all alone in this wild new world and, starting from nothing, immediately begins to rebuild society, one invention at a time. He crafts and experiments using meticulously forged items and innovative techniques. One of the earliest and arguably most crucial inventions is the stone formula, a liquid cure made by mixing the alcohol from fermented grapes and nitric acid from bat poop. Yeah. The powerful goop reverses the petrification and brings the statues back to life. With the help of old friends and secret rivals, as well as acquaintances he makes along the way, Senku embarks on a journey to revive humanity and restore civilization back into the modern age, engineering lots of amazing inventions, both familiar and fantastical. And I'm gonna give you my personal list of the ones I think are coolest. Now, this is not an exhaustive list by any means. And also, this won't be in any ranked order because top 10 lists give me anxiety and pitting inventions against each other is problematic. Besides, part of what's really great about the writing on Dr. Stone is it's all about the spirit of collaboration. Sure, Senku is portrayed as a wonderkin prodigy and he does spend the first few episodes working alone, but the best moments happen when all of the characters tinker around together, leading to a ripple effect of new tools and techniques that all contribute to the world building and driving the plot forward. All that's to say is that this list is totally subjective, and if you want to make a case for your favorite invention, find me in the comments. Even though Dr. Stone is an educational show with lots of fun facts and references to actual science and chemistry, it is not a replacement for biology class or trade school. The show is over the top because, well, anime. It mostly glosses over the tedium of research and testing and kind of ignores the feasibility of, making a cell phone without the machine of capitalism to back you up. And I'm not a scientist, so take everything I'm about to say with a huge academic barrel of salt. Should we say a huge?
You're not a scientist? I would never have known. Why are you doing these anime videos? I'm sorry. That was too harsh.
No, please. We gotta find our special chemistry, right? Speaking of which, salt does appear in a supporting role with one of the first big inventions in the show, fire. Fire allows Senku and Taiju to transform wild game and vegetables into delicious meals and also preserve fish into smoked delicacies. That's because high heat reorganizes aromatic compounds and raw ingredients to make things taste more rich, savory, deep, and complex. This is known as the Maillard reaction if you're a fellow food nerd like me. It's a reminder that you don't need to go all out and spend a ton of money to eat well. As long as you have some seasoning and an open flame, you can make almost anything taste great. But even outside of yum prep, fire comes in handy again and again for our heroes. It keeps them warm through winter and helps them see at night. But it's also what they use as a foundation to create the essential tools needed for chemistry and research. With the heat generated from fire, Senku and friends are able to bake pottery out of clay, finish making the miracle fluid by using said pottery to distill alcohol from wine, create iron bars by heating river sand and charcoal, and then use that iron to forge Japanese katanas for self-defense. Can you begin to see the ripple effect now? And of course, with fire, they're also able to make our next cool invention, glass. The discovery of glass has been responsible for some of the most genuinely moving and exciting scenes in the anime thus far. By grinding quartz into powder, heating it in a furnace with calcium carbonate and other ingredients, and polishing it off with some convenient shonen montage shortcuts, Senku and Chrome fashion corrective lenses that cure Suika of her nearsightedness, or fuzzy sickness, as she calls it. Remember that scene where she sees sunflowers in 20/20 vision? I almost cried. I love Suika. We must protect her at all costs. And of course, it comes in handy during the village games as well. Kinro, a formidable warrior who doesn't realize that he also has the fuzzy sickness, overcomes his vision problems by borrowing Suika's glasses and is able to gain an advantage in battle. Chrome, despite being more of a lover than a fighter, manages to beat Magma by using the lens, the sun, and yes, his own sweat and tears to light Magma on fire. Not only are these moments thrilling to watch, they also drive home the core message that everyone may have different strengths and weaknesses, but science is ultimately the great equalizer for mankind. But the development of glass also highlights the importance of creativity in art as well. When our resident sorcerers try to make beakers and flasks, they fail miserably until Kasaki, the village artisan, takes over and helps them make chemistry equipment, which helps them acquire their first proper research lab. It's a pivotal scene that shows how innovation isn't just about technology, but it's also about design and the role that artists play in advancing society. And as a fellow creative, I appreciate that. With bottles and jars, the village has a new method of food preservation which frees them to focus their energy on training and other business instead of preparing for the winter. I love a good preserve. Also, glass is the vessel that houses my favorite invention, which is Senku Cola. It's the best invention that wins over the best boy to Team Science. And that's it. That's the talking point. Go watch episode 15.
I like how it's like, this is not ranked in any order,
Yeah.
but Senku Cola is the best.
Yes. Oh, absolutely.
That's just how it is.
Hypocrisy is one of my best attributes. One of the many things I love about Dr. Stone is the way it manages to weave history into the use of its inventions. The example that comes to mind is gunpowder. Another disclaimer, don't try to write any of this down and do anything sketchy, and if you do, I'd like to cover my ass in advance and say that I do not take responsibility for your choices. Use your anime-derived powers for good, not evil. Okay? Okay. To make it, Senku gathers sulfur from the hot springs, charcoal from burnt wood, potassium nitrate from crushed seashells, and sugar extracted from grapes. There's those grapes again. That's nature's invention. Taiju and Yuzuriha use it to create an explosive diversion for escape during the face-off against Tsukasa. And later in episode 18, Gen and Senku use it as a bluff by throwing a rock and creating an explosion to fool Hyoga's men into thinking they've got a gun. These intimidation techniques do have an ancient Chinese correlation, which makes sense because it's an ancient Chinese invention. Did you know? During the Song dynasty, the Chinese fought against the invading Mongols by using flying fire, which were arrows fixed with tubes of gunpowder that would light up and propel themselves across enemy lines, kind of like projectile fireworks. These types of explosive weapons would be perfected in the following centuries, becoming the world's first cannons and grenades. The Mongols were thrown off by this strange and terrifying new technology of war, and a lot of historians believe that this was a likely factor in helping the Chinese win battles. Not entirely unlike the way powder explosions in Dr. Stone intimidate Tsukasa's army of big muscle-bound simpletons. While weapons are certainly featured among Dr. Stone's inventions, another one of my favorite ramshackle devices on this show are the gas masks. First of all, it gives us one of the most terrifying yet beautiful portrayals of death in the form of the sulfuric acid lady monster. Seriously, every time she comes up on screen, things get so tense and I start sweating. They need to greenlight a spin-off anime just for the Acid Queen. But it also gives one of the worst characters in the show a moment to redeem himself. Ginro is such a herb. He's a coward, he's selfish, he's delusional, he's petty. This is the guy who ate all of the caffeine leaves, pooped himself, and compromised the victory plan during the village games. He's like that jerk in class who cries to the teacher after he throws the entire group under the bus during team projects. I do not miss school. In an unlikely act of courage, Ginro saves Chrome from falling to his death while they're at the acid lake of death. Not only does he end up saving Best Boy, okay, I said that Gen was Best Boy, but it's really Chrome. Chrome is Best Boy.
That's bad!
But as a result, the group is able to collect the most elusive and crucial ingredient in making the antibiotics needed to save Ruri's life. And yes, the antibiotics are a pretty key invention, but it's also the whole point of the entire arc, so I'm not gonna get into it right now. It's a good lesson that even though this world is scary and you could literally die at any second, with a little courage, self-confidence, and the help of modern technology, you can rise above your deepest fears and accomplish great things. Even if you end up being a little babby again a few episodes later. Genro's the worst. And finally, I can't go any further in this video without talking about the invention of ramen. I mean, Senku wins over all of Ishigami Village by giving them something new to eat. It raises morale and gives them fuel and an incentive to do the necessary manual labor for his inventions, and it's also a huge cultural moment. Think back to the first time that you tried something you'd never tried before and it was absolutely delicious. You gained a new vocabulary and new memories and a new appreciation for the simple yet wonderful joys in life. And that's exactly what Dr. Stone is about. Like, thank goodness we have antibiotics so that we can live long enough to enjoy cola, and for making us feel better, because I almost didn't turn in the script for this video because I was sick after Anime NYC. Y'all are nasty, some of you.
No!
You can't say that?
We can't say that.
All right,
Not
fine.
yet. I mean, don't tease the audience yet. When
Fine.
you're like 3 to 4 videos in, maybe we can start teasing.
That's not who I am.
I know.
I'm not Yadoye. I don't do comedy.
No one's like Yadoye. No one's like Kurt. No one's like Christelle.
That's true.
So you're all unique.
Well, I literally have a twin brother, so I'm not unique.
You're almost unique. You're unique enough. Okay.
Okay. And to answer that one question you might have been asking yourself this whole time, yeah, I'm new here. My name is Chang. I am a writer for anime and I do song covers on YouTube. And maybe you'll see me more often from now on. Thanks for watching GetintheRobot, your anime explainer. Wow, it really is comfy here.